Hello, I am Dan Stapleton, and with me is Dave Rudden.
Hello.
And Dave is reviewing Bioshock
Mm-hmm.
iOS version for us here.
Yeah.
You've finished your review.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
not great, but okay. It's definitely not the best way to play Bioshock.
Oh, by far it's not.
Yeah, fill us in a little bit on your experience with it so far.
I played the original way back in the day, and there is some advantages to playing it on iOS. I mean, I think the level of immersion is kind of unprecedented. That when you're playing on an iPad, especially, you can, you've got the thing right up in your face. If you've got a good pair of headphones, like it's the only thing you're hearing. I mean, in that way, it's kind of a little bit more of an immersive, of an immersive experience than playing with like a controller in your hand and you're like 10 feet from the TV. So just by being that close to it, I think that's kind of a draw.
You can hold it up to your face
Yes.
as close as you want.
Yeah.
It's until we get an Oculus Rift version. That's
Yeah, totally.
the best way to do that. But on the other hand, the controls, like you would expect,
Not so
touch
great.
screens.
Yeah.
So I guess the surprising thing to me is they took jumping out. There's no jumping.
Yeah.
But you say that doesn't really affect much?
It's not really missed. I mean, there is that part at the beginning where what is it, like that cabinet or something is thrown down the stairs, and you kind of either just got to back away from it or like you can't jump over it.
But it doesn't hurt you either, so.
Yeah.
And I guess visually it's not quite as sexy as
No.
like especially if you're playing on PC and get
Yeah.
some high resolution and nice textures. These textures aren't really blowing anybody's mind.
I mean, look at that, like that lighting right there.
Yep.
It's not going to win any awards.
But at the same time, like what was great about BioShock
Yeah.
in the first place was not like it was necessarily a mind-blowingly good-looking game.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of that atmosphere still shows up here. Pretty unaffected.
All right, so I have to go get the.
So which section are we in now? Or is this anywhere near like the Xander Cohen stuff? No, it's probably
No, it's
too
still
early.
fairly early on.
Right. And I mean, you seem to be able to move around pretty easily,
Yeah, I mean, moving and aiming is not that bad.
but the actual shooting, like you have to take your finger off a stick to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I guess if you have a gamepad that works with this, we actually don't have a gamepad that works with the iPad right now. We should probably look into that. But most people don't. And those things are expensive. They're like $100.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
this is how most people are
yeah.
going to be playing this game.
And I think even if you had that, like you sort of lose just a little bit of that immersion because you're not holding the iPad anymore. You're holding the controller and you're a set distance away.
So I noticed you're like almost dead here.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's sorry. I'm dead.
Well, that's one of the problems you raised in
Yeah,
your review.
probably the biggest flaw. Like you can't move these icons. They're set where they are. So I mean, when you're moving around, there's a good chance you'll accidentally hit that crouch button. That's not that bad. The worst is that when you want to heal, you have to tap the upper left corner to do it.
So just tap on your life bar.
Yeah, tap on your life bar. But that means you basically have to stop moving and tap, like using your left hand, or stop aiming and use your right hand.
Right.
I'm more of a left-hand tapper, but
it's a bit of a contortion.
I don't think either one is ideal, especially like I lost count of the amount of times that a Big Daddy killed me because he dashed at me, hit me, I'm almost dead. I can't move because I've got to heal myself, and he just hits me again.
Right. So it's you're damned if you do and damned if you don't there,
Yep.
because either you move and stay alive for slightly longer, or you heal and stay alive for slightly longer. Either way,
Uh-huh.
you're just going to die in a minute. But other than that, the combat didn't bother you too much. I guess weapon switching is not as elegant.
Yeah. So I mean, the most natural way you'll probably do it is just tap this, switches between them. But you can also pull up this menu, which is you basically tap the name. Because if you go just slightly to the left and tap the actual thing, it'll switch the ammo within it. So that's
Okay.
it's kind of a little minor annoyance is that you have to tap the name. It's kind of, you wouldn't know to do that.
Yeah, it's trying to cram all these controls onto the screen in a way that makes sense is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. But I mean, at the same time, the audio you said is actually really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's been downgraded a little because it's not, I don't think it's going to be in like, 5 or 7.1 stereo. It's but when you've got the headphones on and you're hearing some crazy splicer say, like, have some crazy conversation with him or herself, and there's some old-timey song also playing. It all really is unnerving because you're really not looking or hearing anything else because you're playing on an iPad. It's right in your face.
Yeah, the action, or the atmosphere still does look pretty good. I mean, it kind of feels like almost a demake.
Yeah.
Like you're playing a version of Bioshock that came out not in 2007 but in like 2002.
Yeah.
It's maybe even better than that, like 2003. Well, that wasn't very far, but you get the idea. It's not a bad looking game, but it's not as good as it was in 2007.
Things can get dark in this, especially if you don't have your iPad on the highest brightness, which this might not be. That can also be a little bit.
But fortunately, you can adjust that on the fly fairly easily. Get him!
I'll shoot him out of.
Get him!
Out of plasmids.
Show off your combat skills.
Oh, and there I tapped the crouch again by mistake. Is he dead? Where'd he go?
Maybe he's got to do one of those jump scares. Oh, he's behind you. Oh, now you've got another one. This is going to go real well.
I can hide at least.
The crouch button does work. Yeah, it's just a little bit stilted, huh?
Yeah.
It's not nearly as smooth as it would be with a mouse and keyboard or a controller. But you got through most of it, if not all of it, right?
Yeah, decent amount of it.
Yep. And the Big Daddy fights are not super fun.
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I would hope like super powered up. Nah, I think even then it's like that whole the whole thing of having to take your hand off of either aiming or shooting, or sorry, aiming or moving. It's just too much.
All right. But so I guess what you recommended is like if somebody just wants to experience the story of Bioshock,
yeah,
is what you do. You would turn down the difficulty level,
yeah,
and just kind of breeze through all the combat, and you still get the atmosphere, you get all the story.
yeah.
But definitely, like if it's your first time playing this game, ideally you probably want to play it on PC or 360
totally.
or PS3, just because it's a much better looking, better controlling version of this. And actually, like this is $15 on the App Store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can like go catch it on a Steam sale. You'll get it for $5.
Yeah.
It's not, again, this isn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think you called it okay, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I scored it in the 6 range, so yeah, it's okay. It's like I would consider playing through it again. Like I played through it years ago on console. I could play it this way now. Which with lower difficulty, not being as like thorough as I was before. Like when I played it back then, I hacked everything I could, I searched everything I could. Now this time I'm like, just due to the controls and the slight little quirks, I'd rather just play on easy and and die quite often and not like be as frustrated about it.
Well, that's where a Vita chamber comes in handy, right? Dying in this game was never a big deal. Unless you're playing in 1999 mode. Does this even have 1999 mode?
I don't believe so. There is. I mean, you can change it to hard, but I don't think it does anything like. Actually, I believe they do have. I think there is the option to turn the Vita chambers off. Let me check really quick.
Not that you would ever want to.
Yeah, you could do that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but it'd be a terrible, terrible idea.
In this, like, if you're going to prove your mettle, don't do it in this game because it will just drive you insane.
But again, you gave this game a 6.7, which is okay. And be sure to check out the written review on IGN. And Dave, thanks for coming in and showing it off.
No problem. I'm going to frustrate myself with some hacking right here.
Oh yeah, this was a little bit tricky too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, like, you have to click on this thing on the side, so you take your eyes off of like where the fluid is going, in order to move the item into, or sorry, move the segment in the correct spot. You get used to it, but at first I was failing these left and right too. I might fail this one.
All right, well, for all things Bioshock, keep it on IGN.